Okay, hello guys. Welcome to another tutorial, and this one's going to be on real-time dynamic moveset switching. If you have the Art of Combat, you already know that you have different classes in there that have their own movesets. You know, the assassin has its own moveset, the swordmaster, the ranger, and so on and so forth. So here I'm just going to show you real quick how to combine. Like to switch move sets from one class to another while using just one main class in game. Like say for example, if you picked up a weapon that is a staff and you want to switch to the animations of the staff, while and also pick up a bow and arrow, and you switch to animations with that in real time in game without having to configure anything inside of the game itself. Let me show you that real quick. So I do have one of my mates here with me, Karatix. So let's get started. So first thing is I created a new level just by doing that, and dragged in. I just came into this folder, which you probably conversant with. I just dragged in the main subclasses into that level, and that is all that is in that level. And if you open up the level blueprints for this level, all I'm doing here is setting the visibilities. I just have something done here on the server to hide those characters, and I get references to those characters so that you can't actually see them when you go in to play the game. Because I mean, frankly, we don't really, need that to happen. Probably move that. I can't move it. Okay. So that is all that is in that level blueprint. Next is to do most of the work inside of the player controller. So this is everything. This is the graph. The main macro is going to come. I'm going to show you the main macro. It might look a bit daunting, so just bear with me. But the main graphs, this is it, right? So the first thing, as you can see here, assuming you have something like attack, or quick button press, all those things that were in the event graph, of the man controller, evasions, parries, counters, feints, light attacks, heavy attacks, and all those. Say you have your inputs and you want to, or I mean, this is just an example. It could be anything. It could be pickups. It could be a mechanic for pickups here. It could be a mechanic for a simple button press. It could be a spell. It could be anything. As long as you want to do something, and once you do that thing, you want your character to just naturally switch between movesets. This is where you actually begin that thing. So in here, you would hook up whatever you want to call that switching algorithm. So in my case here, it's just press the button, the 2 button on my keyboard. Press the 3 button on my keyboard to do something. In your case, it could be when you pick up a weapon, the execution pin goes in here. If you cast a spell, maybe to switch your movesets, the execution pin goes in here, or something like that. So this is the main thing here. This is where it is. What you want to do is make sure that you call this on the server reliably, and you set your current class to whatever you'd like. Just get the target in here is the man BP. So just get the class. It is important to note that it is possible for you to. This is the controller, and the controller is local to each player, right? The server has a copy of each controller. The clients only have their own controllers. They don't see any other controllers. So that is why this actually works, because we have already saved man BP inside of the controllers themselves in the event graph. So you can just call that and tell it to set its current class. You remember that ManBP has a component called the RPG component. So just drag off of that and just do this. And once you're done doing this kind of thing, I mean, you can set it to whatever you like. Once you're done, you can then go on to just create another event. Now this, we're going to get to this in a second. Before we get there, you're also going to need to, you remember that we saved, or rather we called these unique characters. It's important that the characters that you drag in here, and they're never ever going to be used for any other thing except this thing, that we're trying to do, the algorithm. They're never ever going to be called by anything else. So you need to make sure that they have very unique names. I literally just named them unique dr, unique that so I could actually reference them directly. If you remember, we saved them inside. We got references to them in here, but we can't necessarily, this is a level blueprint, we can't get references to them in here. So we're going to use another method, and like I said, you're going to need to call this as well. This is another event that is also executing on the server. You're going to need to call this. So once you do call it, in my case, you can see, this is just a test phase for me anyway. So in your case, it could be something else that does call this, maybe event begin play or something. So once I press the 5 key on my keyboard, it calls this, and I use get all actors with tag. Now you can try this different ways. You can use of class and get ManBP and then filter for the class names. That will still work, but I'm using the tag because I also went ahead and gave them, each of these characters, tag names. Where is it? You'll notice that I changed. If you check your ManBP default, you're going to see targetable enemy in here. So in the array elements list of the tags array. So I just changed it to something, the same thing for all of them. So just these 5 have the same, just that specific unique tag. So I can access them that way. And that is what you see here. I'm looking for all actors with the tag G, and for each of those, we make sure that it's ManBP, and then we're going ahead and get the display name, which is this, the names that you can see here, right? This, and then once we have those, we just create a switch and fill in these here. And we're going ahead to save those as references that we can actually look to later inside of the server version of the controller that is actually calling this. And then for the final bit, which is this here, the actual moveset switching, you want to go on ahead to pass a reference to the controller, the local controller that is going to be calling this on the server, which is the self. Assuming I'm a client, let's say player 116, I'm the one calling this. I want to switch my characters, but I want it to be done on the server. So this is me, myself, going into this event. So I am going to be passing myself into the server. The server is then going to have me as a reference. So it's the server is going to get my control pawn, which is a ManBP. You'll notice that before we just used ManBP directly, that was saved inside of the local local controller, but we can't do that here because the server cannot access the controller's man BP variable. So we do it this way by getting the control pawn. We're going ahead to get the control pawn, cast man BP, make sure it's valid, make sure it's alive and not dead, and then we're going ahead to check for what is happening here. I think I may have moved some things. I don't know how that happened. Hold on a second, let me just fix this real quick. Think like that, like that. I'm sorry, but I have a bit of a OCD when it comes to this kind of thing. Right, okay, so we then want to go on ahead to check for the character's current class. The current class would have changed at this point. I'm going to go over it again just so that you follow, but remember you do something that calls this event where you want to actually begin to set the class as a different class, to switch movesets, then sets the current class as something else, right? So at this point I have already set the current class, and then I pass myself to the server, and then the server sees that, okay, I was a different class before, maybe the swordmaster, and now I have switched to the ranger, right? And then it goes ahead to switch my moveset, my entire moveset, to that of the ranger, which would be one of these guys. Since each of these is a unique class. This is a ranger, this is a Drachenritter, this is the assassin, this is the swordmaster, and this is the Vorput class. Of course, you can have as many of these as you like. These are just quick examples, right? So now for the macro, like I said, I'm going to open it up now. It might look a bit crazy, but it is very, very straightforward and very simple. You still with me, Chaotix? Okay, here we go. Okay. All I'm doing here is making sure that, okay, you're going to notice that I'm passing, yeah, remember that we saved these variables here, unique AS and so on, those variables in the unique level, we got them via the tags, and then the name, and then are able to save them here because we want to be able to reference them here, right? So having those guys, we can now then just pass these guys into the this macro as the unique character to be called. RR is for ranger, SM is for swordmaster, AS is for assassin, DR is for Drachenritter, and VH is for Vorput. Then you also want to pass yourself. Remember I said you're going to be sending yourself to the server, so you're going to be passing that into the macro as well. Okay, so those are the two things that are coming in here. Now for the unique character, you want to make sure that it is still valid in that unique level. You want to make sure that that you are actually requesting for this switch, you're valid. You want to make sure that your controlled pawn, the man BP, is also valid. You want to make sure that it is alive and not dead, and then you want to begin the sequence. And there are just two things that are going to happen here. One, you're going to exchange, basically you're basically going to exchange all of your animations, all of your movesets, all the montages that you have stored in your arrays. You're going to exchange all of those for that of the unique character that embodies the class that you want to switch to. So if you have decided to switch to an assassin, maybe by picking up a dagger when you were using a sword before, you have now picked up a dagger and now you want to switch to the assassin class, you will be calling unique AS here, and this would switch all of your movesets into that of the assassin, because the unique character assassin AS has, where is it? Is it this one? Is it this one? Okay, it's this one. The unique character AS has all of the montages stored here. As you can see, montage has all of the montages for that class stored on it here. So it can just immediately exchange all of your characters, that's all of your characters and montages for its own, and that's basically what we're going to be doing. So you can see here, it goes in here, you want to call that unique characters RPG component, because you're going to be getting its own montages, and you want to probably call some other ones as well, maybe the animations that I didn't use, that are actually used instead of the character, instead of the RPG component. And you also want to, those are the ones you're going to be getting, and the ones you want to set are those of your character. So you're going to be getting your character's RPG component. As you can see here, Mount BP, you're going to be getting its RPG component, and then you're going to be setting all of its what's it called, its montages, and also the corresponding montages that are actually on the character itself and not on the RPG component. These ones you see here, these 5 also, these guys, I think. Okay, so that is all that is happening. It's just a pure exchange, and by the time you're done, you're gonna have complete Moveset. So to show this in real time, I'm just going to hook all of these up. Maybe I should, let me see. I think my character currently is an assassin, so I'm probably going to just switch this to something else just to make it obvious. Okay, just to make it obvious, I don't know, let me switch to the 4-foot assassin here. Okay, and 5 go there. And we are on our way, I think. Yeah, it's just about done. Compile, and now we're just going to test this out real quick. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the main map, and it really likes to save, doesn't it? And I go to the main map, and voila. In theory, if I'm right, what's that sound? I don't know. If I'm right, something is happening. But let's see. So if I press the 5 on my keyboard, now I have gotten all those unique characters that you cannot see there, but that are there. I've stored them in my player controller on the server, and now when this is what I do normally without switching movesets. This is what I do normally, because my character is actually a swordmaster. I just switched this class to a ranger on the instance. So once I press the 2, you can see both my animation states have changed, and my attacks and all of those have now changed as well. So this is the assassin. Now if I press the 3, I'll switch to the 4-foot, and again you can see that my animation states have changed in the animation blueprint, and my attacks have also now changed. So by pressing 2 and 3, I'm now just going to be going on and be switching between the assassin and the 4-foot. So here we go. Assassin, 4-foot, assassin, 4-foot. And that is all there is to it. It's just like one more aspect, like if you really want to do everything I've done here, And of course, like I said, this works for multiplayer. Of course, it works. But if I decide to run that right now, I mean, I don't know if you could see, but my FPS was kind of like really low. My rig is not that powerful anymore. But for the what's it called? For the you just need to make a few changes to the, few additions rather to the animation blueprint if you want the animation states to act accordingly as well when you switch movesets. So just you'll notice that in your own version of the Art of Combat, you have just one direct arrow going from here to here, and to each of these to here to here, and so on and so forth. It's just a one-dimensional arrow. So all I did was just add a backwards arrow so that once it sees that you're not of that class anymore, it goes back and then it goes to the new class. That's all. I'm running from here and from here for each of them. From here and from here, from here and from here, from here and from here, and this place and that place, just going back. And what is going back? You notice that here you have, for example, this is the one that for hoot, and it is a simple question: is it of the class for hoot? The one going back is simply the opposite, is not of the class for hoot. That is it. Of course, that applies to the one from here as well. It's just the same thing. You just want to do that. And of course, for this one, it would be is it of class Swordmaster? And if it is not of class Swordmaster, go back, and the same thing for this one here. So just do that for all of those. And just the last bit of that is to actually make sure that you amend this here. In your own version of the Art of Combat, you would see just this bit here. I only set the classes going in. I didn't do any of these. So all you just need to do is just make sure that every other class is set to false before you set the class, that specific class, to true. And that is all there is to it. And by the time you're done with this, you realize that 3 hours have passed and you have a full working class switching moveset system, or real-time dynamic moveset algorithm working for you. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, you can reach me on Discord at Ragnar #9805, or you can reach me on Skype, IBMEXX1. You can reach me by email, IBMEXX@hotmail.com. Okay, so till the next time, bye bye.